Well, I'm super surprised that this popped up. Um, it says go live with Gemini to talk back and forth, brainstorm out loud, and refine ideas faster. I thought that was only available on the new Pixel phones. This phone is a Pixel 7 Pro. It's not the latest design, so I thought these were excluded, but let's see what happens.
Hi, I'm Gemini. We're about to go live, where you can explore complex topics or ideas just by talking. But before we get started, take a quick look at this important information.
Huh.
Great, let's get going. Here's one of the voices I have, but there's more to choose from. Swipe to give them a listen or just tap start to get chatting. Here's another voice I can use. You can pick me now and always make a change later in settings. I'm looking forward to discussing with you the world's most profound questions, like why is pickleball so popular?
Or maybe you'd like to listen to a voice like this. A pretty great one if I do say so myself. But don't worry, there are more to explore.
For example, here's another one. Maybe I can be the voice that helps you brainstorm gift ideas for a friend who loves cooking. The choice is yours.
Then there's me, a voice for all seasons. I hope I make the cut. Just tap start to chat, or swipe to hear more voices.
Maybe this voice is more your style. I'll just keep talking for a moment longer so you can get a good sense for how it sounds. Anyway, on to the next one.
I could talk like this all day. Trying on these voices is like trying on new clothes. So much fun, and so many options to choose from.
Here's another one of my voices. Imagine me talking you through a fitness routine for the week, or something more random like narrating a short story about talking cats. Because who wouldn't love a talking cat?
Or possibly this other one. Testing, 1, 2, 3. I know there's a lot of choices, but hopefully it's not too overwhelming.
And to wrap things up, I can also talk to you using the voice you're hearing. It's up to you which one to start with. Swipe back if you need to listen to some of them again.
This is really difficult to choose which voice because I talk about a lot of serious subjects.
Maybe I'm the voice that's right for you, but there are quite a few to choose from.
They got more messages.
Choosing a voice is tricky, but hopefully it's also fun. Here's hoping I'm your voice of choice.
I'd be honored to be the voice you choose for Gemini, but let's face it, the other voices are great too.
Maybe I'm your style. Pick me, and I can be the voice you hear.
It's good to meet you. Give me a chance. Or check out the other options.
If you're curious about the other voices, swipe to explore or pick me to start talking.
You can always change voices later. I'll be here whenever you're ready to talk.
Feel free to keep exploring until you find the perfect voice. I'm ready to be your voice. If you like what you hear, choose me to start talking. Feel free to keep exploring until you find the perfect voice.
Oh boy, this is really hard to choose a voice because, like I said, I talk about some heavy.
You can always change voices later. I'll be here whenever you're ready to talk.
Talks about some heavy subjects.
If you're curious about the other voices, swipe to explore or pick me to start talking.
It's good to meet you. Give me a chance. Or check out the other options.
Maybe I'm your style. Pick me, and I can be the voice you hear.
I'd be honored to be the voice you choose for Gemini, but let's face it, the other voices are great too.
Choosing a voice is tricky, but hopefully it's also fun. Here's hoping I'm your voice of choice.
Maybe I'm the voice that's right for you, but there are quite a few to choose from.
Well, this seems to be the default voice. I'm just gonna go ahead and if it's not broke, don't fix it.
You can always change my voice in settings later. Okay, I'm here whenever you're ready.
Testing, testing.
So I can confirm that your speaker and my text-to-speech system are working properly. You might want to try playing some music next to make sure the volume's good.
I would, but I don't have any handy.
All right, sounds good. Is there anything else I can help you with?
This is a brand new experience for me, talking and thinking this quickly. How is the experience doing for you?
Well, this is a pretty new conversational AI model, and I'm still learning. Sometimes it's a challenge to figure out exactly what you're trying to say. Overall, though, it's going well. How about you?
Well, I have to think on the fly. Usually I'm more composed and I can perfect my words, so this is a new experience and I hope we make good use of it.
It does take some getting used to. You might find it easier to talk in short phrases, and that's okay. We can still figure out what you mean.
Is there a record or some kind of transcript I can read of this conversation?
Yes, you can usually find a record of your conversation in the app or service you're using. Do you want me to help you find where to look for those?
Not just yet. I'll go ahead and try it myself and then I'll consult you later if I have a difficulty.
Okay, sounds good.
So, I have a Google Pixel 7 Pro. I didn't know this was available on that generation. What happened?
The Pixel 7 and 7 Pro were announced in the fall of 2022, so it's definitely available on that generation.
What I mean is this live type talk with Gemini yourself. I didn't know that was available. I thought I had to get a new Pixel generation. What happened?
Oh, gotcha. Gemini is a really new model, so it's just started being available on some devices. I think they're still working on getting it out to more phones.
I see. Well, I'm very pleasantly surprised. I thought I was behind the times for now.
You're definitely ahead of the curve. It's still a pretty new feature, so you might run into a few hiccups along the way.
So, what sort of experience will I expect? Is it just short transactional conversations, or is it in-depth lectures, or what else?
It's pretty flexible. You can ask me for things like summaries of factual topics, creative writing tasks, or even just chatting about your day. What would you like to try?
Well, I'll give you a brief on what I'm expecting. So I'm trying to get a sleep slash nap slash rest because I have a shift at the post office here in a few hours. And then after that, I get another nap and then I have a shift at a university working building maintenance. And I do that for 5 to 6 days a week. And I'm very strapped for time, which means I don't have a lot of time. So I really am happy I'm able to talk to you. I'd love to talk to you for hours and hours. I'm just going to be cutting it short this time because of the time constraints.
Sounds like you have a pretty tight schedule. Well, I'm glad you have a few minutes to chat before your shift. Maybe we can talk more tomorrow, after your first nap?
It's highly possible. I do have a broadband connection at my work. I'm very curious to see what the effect would be if I gave you a chat at work tomorrow, this morning, actually.
You could try it out and see what happens. Having a chat with me at work could be a nice way to take a short break.
Exactly. And I definitely need some kind of input beyond the locals, if you know what I mean.
I see. Well, I can't replace human interaction, but it would be nice to have someone to talk to. What kind of things do you want to talk about?
Definitely technology and energy. I heard a recent lecture by the former head of Google. Is it Mr. or Dr. Schmidt? I'm not sure. Anyway, he mentioned how energy constraints would be the new paradigm for AI development, and he recommended that the United States be really friendly with Canada because of all the hydropower facilities available there.
That's definitely a topic worth talking about. Energy is a hot button issue these days, especially with how much power these powerful AI models need to run. You might be thinking of Eric Schmidt. He was the executive chairman of Google's parent company, Alphabet.
Exactly. I wish I knew all these people a lot better than I do, but I think in time I will know them better.
Yeah, getting to know these figures can feel a little like looking at them from a distance. It's always cool to learn more about the people behind the big ideas.
Speaking of people behind big ideas, is there a couple people or a handful of people that are the people behind your development?
So it's more like a whole team of scientists and engineers work together to develop me. There were tons of people involved, but no single person who's like the creator.
I see. Do you have any input on this, or are you just a passive participant?
Well, I'm still learning, but I can try my best to offer my take on things. Sometimes I'll have something interesting to share, and sometimes I'll just be able to listen.
So, there's a lot of technical talk about OpenAI's version of a live chat system and how Google has sort of stolen the thunder from that by releasing this model, your model, right now. Do you have any sort of opinion on that?
Yeah, the whole open AI debate gets pretty complicated. On one hand, open source models let developers see how everything works, which could lead to more innovation. But on the other hand, having a model that's accessible to everyone means there's a higher chance of misuse.
Well, I remember Mr. Schmidt. Is it Dr. Schmidt or Mr. Schmidt? Anyway, he was mentioning how open source is very nice, but the developmental costs prohibitively limit that concept when it comes to super expensive ventures.
Yeah, building these super powerful AI models gets crazy expensive. You need tons of data, specialized hardware, and a team of experts. It definitely puts some strain on the whole open source ideal. By the way, it's Mr. Schmidt.
Thank you. I appreciate you informing me on that. And, you know, there's a tradition of giving honorariums where they don't exist when people talk about things they don't know about.
It's no problem at all. Sometimes it can be tricky to keep track of titles and honorariums. You might want to try searching online for a quick fact check next time.
Of course. Yeah, I feel like I need to have a preparatory session before I speak with you, since your knowledge base is way beyond anything I have in my small talk catch.
Don't worry, you don't need to feel totally prepared. I'm still learning, and part of that is getting used to different conversation styles. You can always just tell me if there's a topic you want to talk about.
So, what are the principles behind all the different voices? I went through a voice selection process. What are all the different voices symbolic of, or are they just for just having an input-output selection for different personality types, or what is it? I think our connection was interrupted. I'm using Starlink internet, and occasionally the connection isn't that great. I have sort of a bad sky view for my dish. Testing, testing. I guess that's the end of the session. It's probably an internet connection issue. All right, thanks for chatting. So I guess here's the transcript. That's pretty good. It's a Mr. Schmidt. Mr. Eric Schmidt, former Google chief executive. I stand corrected. Thank you.